Hello chess Neurites. This is Grandmaster Ankit Rajpara here. In this video, we will be discussing some of the missed opportunities of top players in day 1 of World Rapid Championship. This position is from the game of Fabiano Caruana, and he missed a simple winning move here. He could have played knight c2, forking the queen and the rook, and he would gain significant material advantage. Of course, the main point being that the f2 rook is being pinned, so the rook cannot capture the knight. Instead, he played knight takes d3, and after bishop takes d3, the game went on, and finally it ended in a draw. Now, let's look at another position. It's from the game of none other than Anish Giri. So, Giri had black pieces here. The king's in a check. So, Giri has mainly two choices, king g8 and king e8. So, he chose the wrong one and lost the game after a few moves. So, he played king g8, and after knight e7 check fork, he's simply losing the rook, and there is this threat of queen f8 as well, and this is completely lost position. So instead, he should have played king e8. So now not only there is no fork, but also the checks of white has been avoided, and as we can notice, white's king side is quite weak. We are already attacking the rook. The queen is quite active. This bishop is also aiming at the king. White can maybe play rook g2, but that doesn't solve their problems. Black can just play bishop f3, and white's king side is soon going to collapse. This is completely winning position for black. Now, let me take a moment to introduce you to chessneurons.com, a platform that I have developed to improve your positional chess. Start your 7 days free trial now. Let's look at the third position, that is from the game of one of the top experts of rapid and blitz, Maxime Vachier-Lagrave from France. So here, he was having black pieces. In this rook endgame, he is up a pawn, but his rook is being attacked, and the f2 pawn is going to fall. So mainly he has two choices. He can either play rook f5 and go after this pawn, or he can play rook b3 and go after this pawn. He chose to go after the wrong pawn, and the game was drawn. So let's first see how the game continued. So MVL played rook f5. So after rook takes f2, so he won a pawn, but white played rook f4, attacking this pawn. Then b5 was played. So and then white played b3. He was following an important principle that when you're down in material, you should try to exchange the pawns, because if you exchange your opponent's pawns, then it would be difficult for them to promote, and then you will have good drawing chances. Of course, after a takes b3, the point is that he played rook b4. This pawn was soon captured, and the game ended in a draw after some time. So now let's look at what should MV have done instead. So he should have played rook b3 in this position. Now, if white captures this pawn with the rook, black can just capture this, and once the king moves say to f1, then just capture, and black can just push the pawn, since they have the pawn majority, 2 versus 1. Now they can sacrifice this pawn. The point is that after a takes b4 a3, the king can't stop the pass pawn, and say after b4, if white tries to play king d3 to try to come closer to the pass pawn, black can play b3, creating a protected pass pawn, and after king c3, black can just bring the king here and then just capture the pawn. White's king is stuck in stopping this pass pawn from being promoted, and this is completely winning position for black. So after rook b3, there was also another option that white could play rook b1, defending this pawn, and then he could capture this pawn. So in this case, black can play b5. So the point is to create a pass pawn on the queen side. So after king takes f2, black can play b4. Now this pawn is being attacked, and once white captures it, Black doesn't need to capture this pawn immediately. Mm, Black can play a3, and of course this pawn cannot be captured because the rook would hang, and next move Black would be able to create an advanced pass pawn with a completely winning position. The final position is from the game of top women Indian player Grandmaster Koneru Humpy. She had white pieces here. So she had completely winning position. She should have just pushed her pass pawn on c7, and then she could promote it next. And if black, say for example, plays h3, then she can play bishop e4 check, and the game is pretty much over. If the king moves, then she can even promote to another queen with a check. So and if black decides to play something like rook takes g2, then she can simply give up this queen, and once black recaptures this, she can promote it to another queen, and now she's up in material, and she can even later try to promote this pawn as well. This is completely winning position for her. So instead of playing c7, uh, she decided to play bishop e4 check. So that was not the best move here. So and the game became complicated. So after king h8, um, so she played c7, and this is another blunder because of which she is completely losing now. And black played rook h3 check, queen h2, and then there is queen a1 check, and she resigned as she's soon going to be checkmated. So so after bishop e4 check, king h8, she could have gone back bishop g2, and after something like h3, bishop f1, the game remains extremely complicated, but she is not winning anymore. So the best idea would have been for her to play, as we saw, c7 first. Now, why is that? Because when the bishop goes to e4, rook h3 becomes a threat. When the bishop is on g2, rook h3 is not a threat. So that's why move order becomes the key. So she played bishop e4, and then she followed it up with c7, and she lost the game. Instead, if she had played c7 first, then she would have won the game.